When Nephi arrives in the New World, one of the things he does is to build a temple. That's, again, a tangible symbol of the presence of God in the community.
That Nephi built a temple wasn't necessarily out of place in Mesoamerica. The temple actually was the center of worship for Mesoamerican people, and rituals would take place there.
The pyramids that are found in Mesoamerica are not temples. They are, in fact, symbolic mountains. The word for mountain in Maya is Huitz, and oftentimes the pyramids themselves have as their proper name Huitz as well. It is, in fact, the temple structures on the top of the pyramid that constitute the temple itself. Mountains were considered sacred. For example, in the area around Lake Atitlan, there are 3 volcanoes which were considered to be sacred. In ancient tradition, they are connected to the creation of the earth by rising out of the primordial sea. Caves and mountains were believed to be the most sacred places, like the Holy of Holies. A Maya pyramid would have been an artificial recreation of the mountain, and the sacred rooms on top would represent the caves. Caves were seen as portals to the supernatural world, particularly the underworld.
The Maya had a 3-tiered conception of the universe. They had the sky above, they had the surface of the earth, and then a watery underworld. And we see this exact same concept being taught in the Book of Mormon. When Abinadi was preaching in front of the priests of King Noah, in Mosiah 13:12, he says, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of things which are in the heaven above, or which are in the earth beneath, or which are in the water under the earth." And that's just exactly the concept of the 3-tiered Maya cosmos.
Although it isn't clear exactly what went on at each of these levels or how one achieved one of these levels, the ultimate goal of the Maya, and certainly the Maya kings, was to go to the highest level of the cosmos and end up in the sky.
To be a Maya king was to progress from being a young person with a child name to coronation, where they often received a new name from an important ancestor or god to eventually become a god themselves.
An example of temple worship in the time before Christ in Mesoamerica can be seen in the triadic architecture in the Mayan area, where you have 3 temples. We don't know exactly what was done in these temples, but a recent find in Guatemala from a period before the time of Christ does have murals relating to creation themes. Many of the ideas and symbols that we see in these later cultures from around the time of the Nephites were derived from an earlier culture on the Olmec horizon, and they would have had these beliefs and ideas and the symbols that express them.
The straightest line for a person to follow in antiquity, from conversion to covenant abiding, is through the temple.
The temples are as important to them as they were to Solomon when he built his temple. Their first temple in the land of Nephi was patterned after Solomon's temple.
If you're bringing people into the covenant, the thing you do is build a temple, and then you bring them to the temple, and that's the thing which adheres them to all of the new principles and teachings and covenants which they received.
Although the temple was a center of focus for both Mesoamericans and the Nephite people, it was the covenants that the Nephites were making at those temples that really set them apart from the Lamanites and from the larger Mesoamerican cultures.